Hey guys, it's Chuck here. Thanks for tuning into the channel. I've got I think what'll be an interesting little repair that I have to do on my electric chain hoist. I'll pull the camera off and we'll go over and take a look at that. But prior to that, I thought I would just talk about a recent purchase. Kind of have to blame it on Adam over at A-Bomb. Anyway, I went to the one tooling place and they didn't have the inserts for this, so I ended up going over to MSC and went in and they had the inserts for this tool. Well, while I was waiting for the fella to go back and pull them out, I went over to their table. That's their for sale table, and this guy was sitting on it, an angle plate. And of course, the reason I'm blaming it on Adam is I saw him using his on one of his videos where he was doing some work on some pistons. So I looked at it, and there was this flyer that was there on the part, and I don't know if it shows up or not, but it basically says, as you can see, probably says 150 bucks, and it says list price $408. So I looked at it, and the fella came back, and I have to tell you, I only go to the tooling stores once every 2 months or whatever. Well, somehow at MSC, I've made buddies with the people there, and when I walk in, they know my name, or maybe I'm recognizable enough that here comes that old bastard again. So anywho, I asked the fella, I says, hey, that angle plate over there, you're asking 150 for it, and will you guys do any better on it? And he goes, yeah, he goes, I could do something. I says, yeah, knock 20% off and I'll buy it. He goes, oh, I could do that. And I said, wait a minute, you said that too fast. He says, can you knock any more off of it? And so he did a little math there, and basically ended up at 110 bucks for the angle plate here. So I ended up purchasing it. It's a Interstate, or phase 2. Interstate is what they listed at, and it's actually a phase 2 product. So it is Taiwanese, but for 100 bucks, if it does the job one of these days coming up, I'm down with it. So anyway, I thought you'd enjoy that. Get to know your tooling guys, and don't be embarrassed to ask them to discount it. I had bought something else and did the same thing, and they knocked the money off. The other thing is, at least at MSC, I think they're actually owned by Enco also, and or the same parent company owns both. And many times I've gone in and looked at a price and said, you know, hey, Enco's got the same thing for much less, and they match the Enco prices or even do better. So anyway, I thought I would share that with you. I'm going to grab the camera off, and it'll be a little bit of a rocky road, but try to show you what's going on with my chain hoist. So my chain hoist is down on the table here, and as you know, the other day, let me walk around over here. The other day on my other video, I showed that I had purchased the jet chain fall, and so I thought, well, this is a good chance to go ahead and use it, and I think you can see it up there. So anyway, hooked it up, and this electric hoist is quite heavy, so it was a simple way to bring it down. That's the way I actually used a different chain hoist back when I had hung it. Well, my buddy had given me this hoist. It's a Wrightway, and ever since the day I got it, it's always had like a flat spot when I've gone to use it, and so you would have to multiple click on the umbilical, and it would lock and bang, bang. It wouldn't work. And here's the switching for it in the electric motor side. And so I assumed, with my limited knowledge on these, that it was probably the contactors that were bad or, you know, scarred from arcing. And I'd first had taken the cover off of that and looked at it. And then my buddy Carl, he's an electrician by trade, retired. He came over and he says, well, he goes, no, the contacts in the umbilical look fine, normal wear. We need to get the cover off. So we couldn't get the cover off when it was up in the air. And as you can see, in getting it off, I actually snapped off the one screw right there. The other side did come out, so I got a little repair to do there. I soaked it and heated it, and I couldn't get it to come. So one hit with the impact and popped it right out of there. Anyway, he looked at the contacts on this and said, nah, they're just normal wear. And interesting enough, as we were testing this, all of a sudden now, where intermittently the chain would move when it was still up in the air, but once it was down on the table here, and it was first over on the table over here, and we brought it back over here and put it back on the chain just to have it at a good working level, and so it wouldn't jump around as we're putting power to it. Interesting enough, now the unit wouldn't, the contactors would engage, but now the unit wouldn't attempt to move at all. And so we, in talking about it, said we need to actually look at the brake, because what it sounds like is the brake's not disengaging. And the way this works is when there's no power to the unit, the brake is engaged, and when up or down is powered to the unit, it's an electric magnet that releases the brake. So let me go around to the other side. So so this is the back side of the unit, and there's the brake right there, and there's your limit switches for the unit for up and down. So interesting enough is I pulled the cover off. This part was laying down in the cover, and in examination of it, as you can see, maybe you can see a little bright shiny spot there. Let me see if I put this down, and my finger right there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a weld there, and you might be able to see on the parts here, there was welds on both sides. So this brake unit, this part was welded to the back of the plate of the brake unit, and when the electromagnet engages, it pulls this part back that's on the springs and unlocks the brake. So what we figured out what was happening, why it was intermittent, is this guy had been just laying in there ever since I've got the hoist, and clicking and clicking and clicking. Finally, the electric magnet would grab it and open the brake, and I could use the hoist, and it would work maybe 3 or 4 times, then it would have a problem again. Well, when I took the hoist down, and then I had it over on the bench there, rolled it around a couple of times, this guy just happened somewhere along the line, it fell out inside the cover, and which helped me figure out the problem here. That's the issue, is that the brake was not disengaging. So I need to take this apart, clean it, and weld this part back onto the back side of the brake there, and give it a test. So that's what's happening here in the shop today. Get working on this and clean it up and see if I can get this guy to work. Interesting enough, in the cover, pardon my throat here. This was in the cover, and I cleaned it up a little bit. I was just looking for identifications, but this was the manufacturer that either built or sold it. And I don't know if you can see the phone number there. Maybe it looks like it's focusing, but this is kind of a trip back in time. This actually, well, I think I just saw the unit shut off. So The electrical diagram said 1963 in this unit, but if you look at the phone number, it says Sutter, SU's capital, Sutter 1 8310. Older people like me know what this means. Younger generations may not understand that that's how you used to dial a phone number. It would be SU 1 8310. And back in the early days there, where there were still operators and party lines, if you were in the Sutter area, you wouldn't even dial the SU. You would just dial the 1 8310. But it was Sutter. When I grew up, I was in JU, and it was called Juneau. It was interesting back in the day. You'd pick up the phone and somebody else would be on the phone because you had a party line. Your parents couldn't afford their own phone line, or it wasn't available. Anyway, that's an off story. Pardon my throat, it's early this morning. So anyway, I'll do some work here and bring you back. We'll take a look at it. Before I get started here, and I don't know if this will show up, but this was the electrical diagram that was still in the cover, and I don't know if the camera's going to focus or not, but down here it says 1963. So this hoist has seen some use, and my buddy Carl, being an electrician, he used the pad here to verify that all the electrical was correct, and that wasn't an issue. First get rid of that issue and then start looking for other problems. Okay, anyway, be back to you. Here's a little update. Took the unit outside and blew it off, so you can see the weld there where it snapped off. You can see the actual brake disc there in the back that sandwiches between the plates. So I'm going to end up taking it apart. This is the hated blowing this out. It's the old brake dust. When in my 20s, I worked as a mechanic and had to do brake jobs every day, and I used to hate that brake dust blowing off the drums and rotors. Anyway, be back with you. Now here's an update. I've got the parts off the machine, and I thought I'd show you. Before I did any welding on this, I wanted to see how flat this piece was before I welded on it. And you can hear it's got a little bit of warp to it. So it's good to know before I weld on it. Some hard spots on the face where it rides on the brake disc. So I'll do some cleanup on that after I get done welding, but just want to make sure that I don't end up with more warpage than what's already in the part. As you can see, there's the welds that broke, and my plan is to go ahead and set it back into place. I'm not going to grind the welds off. I think I'm going to weld right on top of the welds. They appear to have really good penetration into both parts. I don't know how good that's focusing there. So rather than grinding and trying to reposition and weld, I think at least for me, it's best to just use it as a positioner, the old weld, and go right over the top of it. Alright, be back with you. Well, here's just an update. Cleaned it up on the belt sander a little bit, and not too much. If you tap way out on the ends here, you get a little bit of play, but actually where the surface is going to be bearing, it's pretty true, so it didn't move it that bad. And my welds are so-so. We'll see. If they don't hold, you can always take the grinder, clean them back up, and maybe go visit Tom. Alright, gonna put it back together and see if it works. Well, it appears I got it fixed. Got it here in operation for you. It does seem to get a flat spot every now and then. Not like it had before, though. So I think I got it. I think I got it adjusted. I had measured the offset, what it originally was, what these were set at, but that didn't seem to coincide to getting the unit working. So I've just been playing with the adjustment of the spring tension there, and looks like I got it. So time to put it back together, get it back up in the air, put a load on it, and then if I have to do any adjustments, I'll do it up on the ladder. Okay, it's kind of an interesting one. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. Yeah, I may show you one more video with a load on it. Okay, here's the test. I got my welder on it, lifted it a little bit with camera on. Is it going to run? Ha! Look at that. Camera on and it's doing it again. Seems to have just a little flat spot in the switch sometime. So, gonna have to play with it. It's far better than what it was. It's got me a little perplexed. May have to get my electrician buddy back here for his input. Just temperamental, I guess. Okay, well, that's the end of this guy. Look at the back of this shop. Time to clean. This place is a mess. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed, and see you on the next video. Hey guys, just a little closure to this video. Don't know that I solved my problem that I initially had with the hoist intermittently working. Thought it was the brake, maybe not. So I'm going to do more work with it and see if I can find out what the actual problem is. Maybe you guys out there have some input on it, had some experience with it. Couple other closures here. You know, there's Alcoholic Anonymous, AA, there's drug rehab programs. We need a tool buy program. I can't stop myself. Adam and Tom, quit showing us stuff because I got to go out and buy it the next day. Anyway, and final closure. The other day I was watching Keith Rucker, that works on the old machinery at the museum, and I mentioned that I really loved his whistle toots in the background. Really enjoy the train whistles. Well, I think maybe I might come up with a new closer to my videos. Here it is. Just like back in school, time for recess. That was my best class. See you guys.